How do you feel about the fact that even though it is banner night for you guys, the fans will still have the standard of performing and winning at a high level?
Yeah, I didn't know it was banner night. We won't be out for that.
Oh, man, Nick Sirianni keeping the stiff upper lip. There you have it. The Eagles have done with last year. The fans are not, however. Today's injury report, you notice Landon Dickerson, a full participant in practice. We'd love to see that. Big news. We'll discuss that more in a moment. Tanner McKee did not practice, dealing with that fractured thumb on his throwing hand. Welcome in. Get in here. It's Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota, official automotive partner of the NFL, Danny Pommels, alongside Barrett Brooks and Dave Zangaro. Guys, 2 days away. You can hear game presentation being rehearsed over at the link. It is almost here.
Stop. I'm not,
okay, I know. This is your moment.
I thought he was going to yell.
This is his moment.
I'm trying to stay, because we have 2 days
composed.
2 days left,
Yeah.
and I can barely sleep. I got butterflies sitting upstairs going through the rundown. I'm watching film, looking at what I need to look at to make sure I'm the best version of myself I can be, just like they'll be the best version of themselves on Thursday. I'm trying to settle down and just calm down a little bit. That's all.
Dave's like, I know what's coming, so I'm trying to just relax a little bit.
Let's go.
but nonetheless, we're ready to go here. And Nick Sirianni has a new message for his team this season. It's contribution over credit. And this week, Saquon Barkley talked about what that means to him. It's today's Fresh Bites presented by Acme.
Just continue to focus on the thing that matters most, and that's winning football games. He said something, in the beginning of off-season. If you think you're the reason why we won the Super Bowl last year, you're exactly right. If you think you're the only reason why we won the Super Bowl last year, you're exactly wrong. It's going to take all of us. And, I love that with all the stars and, playmakers we have and legends and Lane, Hall of Famer, we do a really good job of buying into the message that coach wants, and it's sent for him, then it's passed on to the leaders and the captains, and then we make sure that gets on throughout the locker room. So that's a mindset that we're going to continue to have as a team, and just focus on the thing that matters most, and that's winning football games, and it don't matter how it looks.
That brings us to the three-point stance presented by Toyota. Stance number one, let's dive into this. The Eagles' message is consistent, and that's from the coach on down. Everyone is on the same page. You love to see that, Barrett.
Absolutely right. That's the culture. That's how they go out there and conduct their business. They're not in the position of going out there and saying, all right, we're looking at last year. They have nothing to do with last year. This is a whole new team, a whole new makeup. Everything that they're preaching right now is something that they started way back when. After they got that ring, everything else was out the door. We're going to win a championship. One play, one series, one quarter, one game, and that's their approach, and I love that approach they have.
Yeah, it's the right approach, and it really started back in OTAs when Nick Sirianni refused to use the word repeat. He did not use it in front of his team during OTAs, during training camp. He doesn't want to say it. The popular phrase has been sustained success, and he finds different ways to kind of get the same message across that he had last year, because it's a long journey, and if you're too focused on the finish line, you stumble out of the starting gate. You can't afford to do that, and it's something that it comes from the top down, but it's also those veteran leaders on the team have made sure that that's the message they're passing on as well. So
you got to live in the now.
Yeah, and Nick doesn't even know it's banner night. How would you even know that they're going to unveil the banner?
Not being out there for the banner unveiling. Come on, that's a little.
Well, we didn't either. When we had when I won the Super Bowl, we didn't go out either. We had nothing to do with that. We went into that season thinking that, okay, then we won. We're pretty good. We didn't have the mindset that the Eagles have. They have a totally different mindset. We were thinking, all right, we're still pretty good. No, they have the right approach.
It's the right mindset. Yeah. But they come out of the tunnel. It's just a little glance up to see the banner. I'm thinking some guys are take a little glance, look at it, and then get back to business.
Yeah, especially those young guys. Some young guys think it's not going to be like this every single year. And I think at this point, they made sure that they don't believe that.
Yeah, that Dan Marino syndrome, though. You never know when you're going to be back, right? And let's hope the Eagles continue to sustain their success, as you guys mentioned. Stance number two. Dave, taking a look at the linebackers, it's becoming evident that Zach Bond and Jahad Campbell can be a special tandem for this Eagles team. Tell us why, though.
I am incredibly excited about these two linebackers. And with Zach Bone, we already saw it last year, right? All-pro, maybe the best linebacker in football. Just does a lot of things really special, covers a lot of ground. And then you have Jahad Campbell. And normally I'm kind of a wet blanket when it comes to rookies, because I think you have to temper your expectations a little bit. I don't feel that way about Jihad Campbell. And that doesn't mean he's going to be perfect. I think there might be some missteps along the way. But based on what I saw this summer, he has the potential to be very special too. And just like thinking about these two guys and their range, like they're going to cover every single blade of grass on a football field. They're going to get things right. They're going to make the defense right when it's not supposed to be. They're going to be making plays that like they have no business making. I think it's going to be the engine that gets this whole defense going.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just going to say this. You got a wrecking ball, number one, in Campbell, but then you got the finesse, in Bond, understanding where he needs to get this guy, making sure he said, hey, I want you to take care of this as the play goes on. That's what you have. You have a teacher in Bond and you have a wrecking ball in Campbell. That's all you need. Tell him where to go. He'll make it happen, and then you know where you need to be. And just in case something doesn't happen, I mean, it's just a perfect combination of a veteran guy and a young guy.
And the depth behind them suddenly, this Eagles linebacking core looking like somebody who can really make a difference.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, eventually Nakobe Dean back in the mix at some point.
Yeah, hopefully sooner rather than later. Let's get to stance number 3. Landon Dickerson is good to go. We showed you the injury report. He was a full participant at practice. Barrett, no reason to think he won't be the Dickerson we've come to know on Thursday next to Jordan Mailata.
Well, back when he had, the minor surgery, I knew Dickerson was going to be back. In fact, the next day after the surgery, he comes out, having a couple cold ones. He was just letting everybody know, hey, I'm walking, I'm cool, I can handle the pain. It's just about him going out there now and just playing. I didn't need him to practice yesterday. I just need him to show up on Thursday. He's a veteran guy now. He doesn't need all the stuff that you for a young offensive lineman to need to do. This is an all-pro guy. He understands what he needs to do to get his body going. He's played through injuries before. He'll be just fine in this game. We can run the tush-push effectively now that we have him back in the lineup.
All right, what are you thinking, Dave?
Yeah, it's important to note the knee, not even on the injury report. It's the back injury, and we don't know if they're related. There's a possibility they are, but if there's something Landon Dickerson knows how to do, it's how to play through some discomfort, through some pain. I think it would take a whole heck of a lot for him to not be out there on Thursday. He's going to play. Will he be affected by it? Maybe, but he's played through a lot worse before.
Yeah, Jordan
Nothing can keep him off the field.
Mailata said he has the Wolverine healing factor when he comes out there after these injuries.
Right.
Let's hope that holds true for this team. Let's head for a break now. Time for the playbook presented by Supercuts. Ahead on this show, Jason Avant is waiting in the wings to join us to talk about players that are ready to take the next step. Plus a new sponsor for the Eagles' most famous play, and it is perfect. And will Thursday be the most raucous crowd in the history of the Link? We'll find out. Discuss that and more coming up on Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota, official automotive partner of the NFL. Hey, coming up next, join our Eagles experts as they dive into the season, break down the roster, and highlight the biggest challenges in facing the Cowboys this week. It's Coming for the Crown here on NBC Sports Philadelphia, presented by Philly Sports Trips. Then on Thursday, 2 hours of live coverage leading right up to kickoff, beginning with Birds Huddle at 6 p.m. That's followed by Birds Huddle Game Day, then an hour-long season premiere of Eagles pregame live with Michael B., Jaws, Barrett, and the crew. For more on a rookie making his debut Thursday, Dave Zangaro and Ruben Frank. We'll have more on the Eagle Eye podcast, but let's dive into this and welcome in Jason Avant. And Jason, are you pumped up? Are you ready to go?
It's football season, baby. What are you talking about? It's football season.
It's time for the Birds Report presented by FanDuel. Get your thrill on. Jason Avant in the house, former Eagles wide receiver. Let's talk about this Bird season. We're going to discuss some players who are going to take that next step. And Jason, who do you have first?
My first player would be Moro Ojomo.
Okay.
It has to be him. It's because he has that 18.2 pass rush win rate that was second amongst defensive tackles behind Chris Jones, third overall behind Chris Jones and Micah Parsons. So when he gets in the game, he wins his one-on-one matchups. There's a reason why they let Milt Williams walk. They let him walk because Moro Ojomo is coming right behind him, and he's the recipient, the beneficiary of the greatness of Jalen Carter. He's going to get one-on-ones because Jalen Carter gets double teamed, and Moro Ojomo should shine and get a 1 point. What is it? How much did Milt Williams get? 104 million?
$104 million.
So come on, your payday is coming, Ojomo. Your payday is coming.
Barrett, I know you're in on Ojomo as well.
Oh, man, I love Ojomo. In fact, I talked about him yesterday.
Yeah.
I really talked about him yesterday. So, I mean, I'm really high on him. And, he's going to be an every down player for him.
Yeah, hopefully he comes and delivers. And Barrett, who's your first player looking to take that next step?
I'm taking that next. I'm just going to stay in the same defensive line, but I'm going Jalyx Hunt. This young kid is ready to play. He showed me a lot last year during the season. His elusiveness, the way he rushes the passer. He has a bigger body style than, a couple other defensive ends we have. I think he's a guy that can hold the point during run, get up the field, but also athletic enough that he can turn the corner. He's just learning football, but I tell you what, he is going to be a special player, especially going against Tyler Guyton this week against Dallas. Tyler Guyton, he should have 1.5 sacks versus him. Tyler Guyton is not going to be able to touch him. This kid is going to have a great game and probably a great season this year, so because he's such a good athlete, untapped potential.
You ready for Jalyx Hunt to take that next step, Jason?
Yeah, I think he's going to do well, especially if he can just capitalize on his opportunities.
Exactly.
He's going to get those one-on-ones because of Jalen Carter. All of these guys do well because of Jalen Carter. So if we see him take that step that he did in the Super Bowl, he'll be just fine. And like you said, when you have Tyler Guyton, you have Nate Thomas, the guys that are for the Cowboys at left tackle, I don't think there's anybody that can hang with our guys just because they have a bunch of young dudes. Tyler Guyton hadn't played most of this summer because he's dealing with a bone fracture in his right knee. So he's going to get his first reps this upcoming weekend. It's just a bad time to see Jalyx Hunt.
Tyler, they're all going to get beat up. 3 guys named Tyler on their offensive line, they'll all get beat up this
Bring
game.
your hard hat and lunch pail against this Eagles defensive line, that is for sure. And Jason, your second player who you're thinking of to take that next step?
Oh, Andrew Mukuba. Yeah. So Texas guy, but first coming from Dabo Swinney, ACC, Defensive Rookie of the Year. First time that has happened where he was a starter since the 1973, where freshmen were allowed to play. He's been a baller. You saw in his first game, of playing time against the Browns, how he took one back 75 yards for a pick 6. But he has the range of an Earl Thomas, and you have to get that speed and that playmaking ability losing Garner Johnson. So we need this guy on the field. I know Sidney Brown is in front of him right now, but there's going to be a special place for Andrew Mukuba because of his skill set. You don't come across safeties that can cover that much ground running a 4.4, 5.40. Those are the types of things you need in order to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and there's no wasted movement when he plays. He reads things, he sees things in front of him. He has more of the sense, understanding what he needs to do with the safety. So, I like, what he showed in camp. He was competing, just injuries right now. If he can get those injuries out of the way, he could be a really good player, as we go forward.
Yeah, you're not worried about the time he's missed camp as a rookie?
No, I'm not worried about the time that he's missed just because he's been a baller his whole time. His time at Texas, his time at Clemson, and now his time at Eagles. When he had his opportunity, he shines in those moments. So I think that he's a guy that is going to show up in any situation that and I always look at guys' track record. Like, you can say, okay, this guy has this ability, but if it doesn't show up on the field, every time he's got an opportunity to play, he balls. And I think he's going to do that with the Eagles.
Playmaker.
2 key positions, though, at corner and safety that the Eagles have new players, particularly against this Dallas passing attack, but no worries there.
I'm not, because we expect everybody to play as good as Quinyon and Coop. No, you can't have those expectations. You want a player to that caliber. You want a player to play as well as they do. But I think Jackson will go in and fill in okay. You don't have superstar corners everywhere you go. We have 2 superstar corners. You can't expect the same from that third corner. I think he's a very good corner. He can go out there and facilitate what he needs to do, cover who he needs to cover. So I think he'll be all right, or whoever they put there are going to be all right.
Yeah, George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb will test these guys for sure. Barrett, who is your second player, though, that you're hoping to take the next step?
Tyler Steen. He showed me something. At no point did I think that position was anybody's but Tyler Steen this entire camp. And the guys have shared, a lot about what he's done during this offseason, which allowed him to step in and be a special player for them at the right guard position. Lane said this kid comes in very athletic and do a lot of things, but the thing that he said most, made him happy with what he was doing, his ability to come off the ball and maul people, to be an athlete, make the right decisions. He's taking his game to another level, and I'm glad that nobody really had, any expectations on dethroning him. He made sure there was no thought process in, trying to replace him. He's that guy at the right guard position.
Mekhi Becton really set the bar high, Jason. You feel like Steen can step in and fill that void?
That's a huge void. You're talking about Mekhi Becton being such a big dude. So Tyler has his shoes, to fill. But here's the thing about it, is that he's going to be the guy that's red dotted, that's circled by every defensive coordinator to attack him. So it's going to be tough for him to succeed. And if he shows up in this situation with all odds stacked against him, because that's the guy they're going after. You can't go after anyone else. There's no other weak point, but Tyler Steen's going to be the guy that they're going to attack. Can he do it? Time will tell.
I saw him make those A's at Stoutland University. He had some A's on his report card, so hey, we're going to see what's going on, man.
All right, we will find out soon enough for sure. Jason, we appreciate you joining us as always. You'll be coming up on the Coming for the Crown special next, so don't go too far for sure. Time for another break.